Andrew Mack here with MMA Island. Today I'm with Jonathan Piersma, the Warhawk. Jonathan, how are you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So tell me about your background. How'd you get into martial arts?
So I didn't actually do any martial arts growing up. Um, I just played football, basketball, sports like that. Went to college to play football. Played football throughout college, but towards the end of my college career, me and a couple buddies went to check the gym out. One tried it out in the off season. I really enjoyed it. So I started training a little bit, and then as soon as I got done playing football after my senior year of college, I kind of just jumped into it. After training for a little bit, the head coach there asked me if I was interested in fighting. So yeah, why not? Let me give it a try. I did my first fight, and then I was sold after that.
So how long have you been training?
Total about 6 years. Yeah, about 6 years now.
And was that all at your gym synthesis?
Yeah, that's the gym I tried out the first day, and that's the gym I'm still at. So, yep, been there the whole time.
So tell me about your gym. What's the vibe there? Is it like a very military regiment vibe? Is it a family vibe, somewhere in between?
No, it's a very laid back, more family vibe. You know, it's not no strict rules. This that we just show up, we work hard, but it's laid back. Everyone's cool. Got a lot of good friends out of there. But we show up, we train hard. But yeah,
So where'd your nickname come from, the Warhawk? That's probably one of the most badass nicknames I've heard for an MMA fighter.
so my nickname comes from my middle name. My middle name's Hawk. So
Ah,
then it got turned into that. Yeah.
awesome. So your last fight at Net 50, you won by decision. Is that how you expected that fight to go?
Um, I mean, I expected to finish him. Um, I thought once I got him down, I was going to submit him or finish him with strikes. But yeah, as soon as I got him down, he just was concerned about not getting submitted or not getting beat up too bad. So it made it tough for me to really open up my offense because he wasn't taking any chances to get up. Like I said, he was just content with surviving. So kind of made it tough on me. And he was a good, experienced veteran. So as I'm winning the fight, why should I take a chance when he's not taking a chance to get up when he's losing? So yeah, I mean, I would like to get a finish, but also I was happy to get 5 round experience. Not many pros this level or point in their career get that experience, so I was happy with that. But I definitely would like to finish, but it was a good experience.
So, a lot of the audience seem very frustrated that the fight was on the ground. A lot of MMA fans don't like to see expert level grappling like your level, and they kept calling you stand them up, stand them up. Did that frustrate you in any way?
No, I mean it was his hometown, so obviously they wanted he stood up. You know, but I was in dominant position most of the fight. Mount, I was hitting him with elbows. I would have liked to be a little more active. Looking back on it, I should have, because I don't think he was going to be able to get up even if he really tried. But like I said, I had to respect it. He was a veteran. He's been around for a long time. Dangerous guy. Um, but yeah, no, it doesn't bother me. I went in, I won 50-44, dominant. Won the title. So no, I mean, there's things to build on and look back and take from, but not it doesn't bother me.
And did you hear his coach at all during the fight? Because his coach
Here,
wasn't
my
saying.
coaches.
His coaches.
Oh, yeah, a couple times. It was actually funny. He was talking to me at one point. I think I hit him with an elbow. It was like maybe third or fourth round, and he said something along the lines of like, "Oh, that was the first good strike you've hit all fight." And it was kind of funny, so I was laughing. Yeah, it was an interesting crowd up there.
So that doesn't bother you? All the things his coaches were saying?
Yeah, that's one of I think it was head coach said that to me in the corner. I just kind of laughed.
And after the fight, having that belt obviously must feel awesome. I got a really badass picture of you walking out the cage. How'd that feel winning that title?
Yeah, it was awesome. When my first pro title, so that was an awesome experience. Um, yeah, it's just the next step in my career. Getting that title. So yeah, it was a great feeling. But we're not content. Got right back to work. And there's many more titles to come. So it was a good experience. And yeah, it was a good feeling. But that's just the first of many. So we're right back to work.
So you're from New York, right?
Yeah, Rochester, New York.
So how do you find the promotions like NEF and then Combat FC, which you're fighting for on February 10th?
So my management team is from the New England area.
So that's
So
full
that's
contact management, right?
yeah. So they set the fights up. They have some relationships with the guys who run those promotions. So that's how I got in there.
So for your Combat FC 3 fight, how's that camp going?
Good. It's I never really. I took a couple days off after the last fight, but we've been training the same ever since the last fight. So good. We're always getting better. We're always training, getting ready. So we're about I don't know 9 or 8 days out now. So yeah, excited. It's been good. I'm ready to go.
So what do you think about your opponent, Sanad Armuti? I think is how you say his name.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I didn't know anything about him before the fight. They sent the name. We watched some film. We accepted it. But yeah, he's a tough guy. Probably his most dangerous weapon would be he's got some good submissions off his back, submission skills. Um, you know, but overall, his striking's okay. He's kind of okay everywhere with some decent submission skills. So I'm looking to go in and be able to dominate this fight where it goes. So
So I'm not sure about the other promotions that you fought for, but Combat FC is held in this like auditorium thing. I remember going to a
yeah,
circus to it when I was like 5, so that's my memory of the
totally.
venue. Um, does the vibe of the venue affect your mentality in any way when you fight?
Not really. We show up. I'm getting in the cage to fight. It doesn't really, matter where we are. If we're in, fucking T-Mobile in Vegas or, we're outside in the field, we're just getting in the cage to fight. Um, so the crowd of the venue doesn't really make a difference to me. Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's just me and him getting in the cage. So where it's at, doesn't really affect me.
Speaking of the cage, so a lot of things with different regional promotions, they all have different size cages. In between,
Yeah.
I have no what sizes are. Do you prefer like a smaller cage, like the Neff cage, or like a bigger cage?
Yeah, so it was actually crazy that the last NEF that was the smallest cage I've ever been in by far. That cage was small. But I mean, obviously with my style, the smaller cage favors me. Wanting to wrestle and grapple. Because it doesn't give a striker a lot of room to work and
Hmm.
move. So obviously the smaller cage favors me, but it doesn't really bother me because I've fought for CFFC, I think 5 times, and they have a pretty big cage, and that never really affected me. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess small cage probably favors me, but at the end of the day, it doesn't. Big, small. We're gonna get the job either way. Done.
So a big controversy lately has been the judging in MMA. What's your stance on how this current judging scene is?
Um, yeah, it's tough sometimes. It's just you never really know what they're favoring in a fight or what they're looking for. Sometimes, especially when I watch like the UFC fights. Obviously, that's where a lot of people get the biggest issues. Fights like that. It's tough because sometimes they favor control time, they favor grappling. Um, but then sometimes, a guy might have control time and have a guy down for a fight, but in the 1 or 2 minutes per round they're up, the guys letting big strikes, they give it to him. So it's tough. You never really know. So that's why when we go in there, we look to never leave it in the judge's hands or be dominant. You don't want to leave it close because you don't know which way it's going to go. I actually lost a split decision. My one loss was a split decision that a lot of people felt I won because I dominated the grappling. I had 9 minutes of back control in a 3-round fight, but that didn't go my way. So it is what it is. I only blame myself at the end of the day. I let it go to the judges. But yeah, it's tough because sometimes you don't really know what they're looking for or what they're favoring. So
What do you feel about the 10-point must system?
um, it's I mean it's just tough because I don't know I don't know what other way you could do it. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think there definitely needs to maybe be some changes to the system and the way they work it, but I don't know. It's just tough. I don't know what exactly the changes would be. Um, it is tough because generally 10-9. There's you can get 10-8s. But it's just tough because I don't know. I don't know the solution, but is tough.
So Comet FC's on Fight Pass. How do you plan
Yeah.
to use this platform to expand your reach, expand your name, all that stuff?
Yeah, it's definitely cool to be on Fight Pass. Bigger audience. It's easier for people to tune and watch. Especially friends and family that can't make it to the fight. Um, I know the last one, Neff, wasn't on Fight Pass. That was like a pay per view, so it's more expensive. But yeah, so when I fought for CFFC, like my first 5 fights were all on Fight Pass, and that was nice. Get a lot of exposure. You just get people from all over the world watching, just tuning in and watching. So Fight Pass is awesome. I love when I get to fight on Fight Pass. Just more eyes, and at this level, that's what you need. Like when I fought on CFFC, I got UFC Fight Pass Submission of the Year. I think it was 2021. So that was cool to win that. Just being on Fight Pass, I was able to do that. So yeah, it's great to get exposure. At this level, the more eyes, the better, and it just leads to bigger opportunities.
So what would you say some of your short-term and long-term goals are? Short-term, we'll say under a year and a half. Long-term, over a year and a half.
Short-term goals in a year and a half. Obviously, my first goal is to win this fight, but after that, just keep training and getting better. Keep winning fights. Hopefully within a year and a half. Obviously, I'd like to get the call to the next level of the UFC. Whether it be straight there, contender series, something like that. But yeah, within a year and a half, I'd like an opportunity if I can win a couple more fights, opportunity, something like that. Long-term goal. I don't know. Always the long-term goal is always, be the number one fighter in the world, win the UFC championship. That's always going to be the number one goal. But for right now, I'm just focused on the short term. Win this fight. Win another fight maybe in the spring, and then hopefully get my shot, at the higher level. So that's what we're focused on right now, and that's what we're working towards.
So everyone has a different reason for fighting. Why do you fight?
Why do I fight? Well, one, I enjoy it. I love the process, the training. But I think the biggest reason I got into it is I played sports my whole life growing up. Like I said, I played college football. And I'm the type of person I need something that drives me to compete, to have goals. And playing football, I wasn't going to go to the NFL. I was a pretty good college football player, Division III, but I wasn't going to go to the NFL. So that wasn't going to work out. But so then when I got into training, I looked at this something. Okay, this is something I can maybe do professionally. It gave me that goal, gave me that competition that keep me active. So as soon as I started training, I started fighting amateur. I was just all in, and I just love having those goals, having that something to work for every day. I need something like that. I'm not one of those people that could just go and get a 9-to-5 job and just be content with that. I need something driving me every day. So fighting gave me that opportunity outside of football.
Awesome. So what do you do out of the cage? Do you have any hobbies, day job, or anything?
No. So for the last year, I was finally able to transition to fighting full time. Um, and ever since I've done that, it feels like that's pretty much all I've done in my life in the last year is train. Haven't really had much time to do much else. So pretty much, yeah, we're training 6-7 days a week, 2-3 times a day. So obviously, when I get some downtime, I like to hang out with my buddies. In the summer, go play some golf. But for the most part, the last couple of years, I haven't had much time to do too much besides just train.
So you're on an absolutely stacked card. What fight besides your own would you say you're the most excited for?
Man, I don't even know. I haven't really looked at. I've seen some of the flyers, but I haven't really looked at the card. I saw there's some pretty good fights with some guys that have been around for a while and some up and coming guys. So I saw it was a really good card, but I don't really look that deep into it. I'm just focused on going there, putting on a great performance, dominating this fight, and getting out of there. So hopefully some good fights I can stick around and watch before me. But yeah, we're just focused on my fight, going there and dominating.
So for your last fight, you were the main event, last fight of the night. Here, I think
Yep.
you're somewhere around the middle, maybe? Or
I have no idea.
do you prefer to be earlier in the night or later in the night?
It doesn't really bother me. But I guess earlier in the night is the better. I don't have to sit around all night. get in there, get the job done, give me more time to go see my friends and my family that came up, celebrate, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's always nice to fight early in the night. But, as my career goes and you keep winning, obviously, fighting main events and for titles is the goal. So, I guess it's always whenever you're fighting last in the card, that means you're doing something right.
I'm just asking you about some favorites. If you want to give the favorite and move on, we can do that. If you want to give a little bit of a story, feel free to do that as well.
All right.
Your favorite big league fighter?
My favorite what?
Big league fighter.
Oh, favorite big league fighter. Man, right now, there's got to be current, active, or
Yeah. Or it could be
active,
retired, I guess.
or retired. I was always a huge GSP guy. He's up there. Because I like to think my style is kind of like him with the wrestling, the grappling. He wasn't a wrestler. So yeah, GSP. Same weight class. So he's up there. He's one of them.
Your favorite regional fighter besides yourself or your teammates?
Favorite regional fighter. Man, I don't even know. I don't even watch outside the UFC. I don't really watch any guys on the region scene.
Your favorite submission to hit?
Favorite submission to hit? Guillotine.
Solid. Your favorite one of your fights?
My favorite fight would probably be probably the last one of my first pro title so far. That's probably number one.
And your favorite fight that's not yours, so your favorite fight to watch?
Favorite fight to watch? There's some good ones. Favorite fight probably have to go with the Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald. Their war. That's always a good one to go back and watch.
Your favorite food to eat right after a fight?
After a fight, I need a good burger, double bacon cheeseburger. Oh yeah, give me a burger.
Nice. And one last question: if you could talk to yourself right before you went pro, what would your message be?
Right before I went pro?
Yeah. So let's say the week before you go pro. So December 2020.
Just believe in yourself, and you deserve to be here. I always thought I was gonna be able to do this professionally, but not growing up doing martial arts, not growing up training, kind of just jumping into it. It was always just kind of a dream, and then when I got there, I was confident, but it's kind of like, holy, this is really happening. So I would just tell myself, be confident, and yeah, you deserve to be here.
I know you got a lot of sponsors. Any sponsors or teammates or something you'd like to shout out?
Oh yeah, I got. Well, first off, shout out to my teammates, my coaches, Synthesis, BJJ, and you guys help me train with me every day in and out. So, obviously they helped me get here. And just big shout out to all my sponsors. Especially Sweet Heel. They sponsor the event and they're sponsoring me this fight. So big shout out to them. Yes, shout out to all my sponsors. I'll make separate posts so I don't forget them all. But yeah, shout out to all my sponsors. You guys make this possible. But yeah, we're just excited to get in there and fight pretty soon now.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. Just tune in February 10th, UFC Fight Pass. Watch me put on my best performance to date.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on.
No problem. I appreciate it.